What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into the Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsDuck. Matt here every morning on BettingPros.com, being brought to you by BetMGM. All right, so last night was a disaster. At the time of taping, I'm 0-5. I am headed towards 0-6 because of the over in the Dodgers game. I don't know if we're going to get there, but I got to tape it anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of a breather today. You guys understand this. Look, I'm pretty transparent, and when I get my teeth kicked in, I sometimes need to regroup a little bit. So I was planning on doing all the picks for the NFL draft on Wednesday's podcast. I'm going to give you a couple of them. I'm going to give you 4 of them today, and then I'll give you a couple other ones coming up tomorrow. But we're going to take a breather. I will have some NBA player props, maybe a Major League Baseball player prop. I will have a couple of things going today, but for the most part, I'm going to pause. Take a breath. I'm going to step back. I'm going to let myself kind of regroup a little bit because if I go 0-6, that will be down 2.5 units, and that pretty much destroys the month. So that's what can happen. In 1 month, or 1 day, one bad night, you can literally annihilate the entire month and put you as from a winner to a loser. So just a horrible night, and my bad, awful picks. I apologize. Just to kind of reset, both player props were wrong. We missed one of them by a half a point, but that's the way we went last night. Nick's on the Discord channel. The Discord bet now goes to 4-3 overall. Suns beat the Knicks there. I had Denver. I had Memphis covering against Denver. That did not happen. Memphis got killed as plus 4.5 dogs. And the Flames lost 2-1 to the Montreal Canadiens. So one of the benefits that we have here as gamblers is that we don't have to bet every game that goes up. We don't have to play. Well, technically I have to bet, but I can do things on Thursday here on a Tuesday because one of the things that happens here in Vegas is that the betting on the draft closes Wednesday evening. You cannot bet on Thursday here in Vegas for the NFL draft. So Tuesday and Wednesday are both really big bet days. And even though I don't know exactly what's going on for FanDuel and some of the others, but I would assume they're going to shut down at some point on Thursday before the draft. I don't think. Maybe they'll have their picks up still on Thursday morning, but I don't know. So my advice is get your picks in now. So I'm going to give you 4, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing here for the NFL draft on Thursday during the NFL draft. All right, so here is what we're going to do. On the Discord channel, they have a thing called Stages. It's kind of like Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse, where you can go and actually have a conversation with people who are the moderators of the said stage. I, myself, Matt Perrault, and Dan Harris will both be. Dan's going to be doing some other stuff during the draft, but I'll be moderating what will be a very fun experiment. I've done this before with live at bars. I've done this before. So I'm going to attempt to do this actually during the draft. I'm going to select somebody at random to make a pick for whatever team is on the clock, whatever trade goes down, whatever it might be. I'm going to select somebody who's hanging out, listening to us talk about the draft. I'm going to say, hey, John, come on up on stage and make the pick before the pick goes down. Now, I know sometimes media members tweet out the picks ahead of time. So if that starts to happen, I may have to have you guys go actually one pick ahead or something to combat that. But the idea is you come up on stage, you go to first go to the Discord channel. Then you're going to see a little microphone on the top of the list that shows you all the different channels for Discord. And it'll say something like NFL Draft or whatever. And you can get them to come on in and hang out with us during the NFL Draft. So this is great if you have the Discord app, if you're on your phone, so you can second screen it. So you got the first screen, you're watching the draft. On the second screen, you're watching what we're doing. So we're going to go at 4:45 Pacific time, 7:45 Eastern. We're going to start this. And the first 2 picks, I'm not going to allow you guys to win anything in the first 2 picks. But starting on pick number 3, and we'll go for 15 picks. So we'll go basically halfway through the first round. So like for 17 picks, we'll go through half of the first round. And that's enough because I can't go any deeper than that because I can't hang out. Picks in the 20s are just too much for me. So we're going to do that from picks 1 to 17. But if I call on you, say, hey, pick 7, the Detroit Lions. John, what's the pick going to be? So you can come on up, you make the pick. If the pick is right, you will win a Daily Juice t-shirt. Okay? If you pull off a trade or something, I don't know. We may find some other benefit, but I may make it a t-shirt. I may make it a hat. I may make it a sweatshirt. I don't know. We'll give you Daily Juice swag, okay? Dan Harris and I are going to finalize the giveaways coming up later on today, but that's going to start at 4:45 Pacific time, 7:45 Eastern on the Discord channel. So make sure you get in there, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link below me here on YouTube to get in and hang out on Thursday with us for the NFL Draft. So I'm really excited for this. It's a new experiment. It's a new way for you guys hanging out. We'll watch the draft together, and we'll have you guys, we'll ask questions, we'll interact. We'll see what picks are made when and where, and, basically it's all about the top 10, right? After that, we'll hang around until my team picks at 15, and then get to some 16, 17 to get 15 picks in, and we'll see how you guys do on the fly during the draft, live after all the picks happen. So it's kind of a live mock draft in a way. But it's not really a mock draft because the draft's going on. You're going to know who goes before the pick you make. So who's off the board, you have to be able to see the team and see what the most logical pick is and everything else. So do a little homework. Hang out with us for the first round of the NFL Draft, at least half of it coming up on Thursday night for the Discord channel on Discord Stages. Dan Harris and myself will be there starting at 7:45 Eastern Time for that on Thursday. Okay? So from there, let's start with a couple of plays. So I got 3 bets at FanDuel and 1 bet at Circa. Each book is going to have unique offerings and opportunities to bet, all right? So I had to go and find and jump some hoops here to get a FanDuel bet down, but I got 1 unit down at FanDuel tonight. And then I've got a quarter unit going here in Vegas, and I'll have more bets coming on the podcast for Wednesdays as well, and probably not on Thursdays just because of the fact that what's going on, but I don't know what we'll do for Thursday because we're going to be watching the draft like crazy. Nothing really else going on. Maybe a day baseball game I'll bet on or something like that for Thursday. But here are the bets that I have gotten down at FanDuel. 3 of them, okay? The first is one that I think if you have access to it, you need to hammer it. Justin Fields, the quarterback from Ohio State. I have seen his prop down to 6.5 tonight. At FanDuel, it's juiced to minus 198. Okay, it's expensive. But Justin Fields, the prop total is 8.5. Okay, 8.5 for Justin Fields. I put a half a unit down on that tonight at minus 198 at FanDuel. Okay, that is, I cannot see Justin Fields going that low. It would be stunning to me if Justin Fields falls out of the top 5, top 6, or top 7. I cannot see it. I think that's just, I just don't get it. All right? So here's my logic. Here's what I am thinking. We know what 1-2 is, right? Trevor Lawrence 1 and Zach Wilson 2. Okay? So the draft starts at 3 with the 49ers, who now are making it known that it's either Trey Lance or it's Mac Jones. I can't get around the idea that look, Mac Jones, I could see Mac Jones going 3rd. I really could. And I could see Kyle Shanahan saying he's my guy and I'm good with it. But I also could see the fact that why did the Niners go up? Because Mac Jones could have fallen to them at 12. And I think they like Mac Jones. But I think they went up because Trey Lance was going to come off the board at 4 or 5. And they knew it. So they had to go to 3. They wanted to go to 2 to maybe get Zach Wilson, but the Jets wouldn't do it. So they had to go to 3. And now at 3, why do you go to 3? Wouldn't you go to like 6, 7 for Mac Jones? Why go to 3? Because Trey Lance was coming off the board. Plus, I actually do believe that the 49ers are telling the truth when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. I actually do think they're going to start Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. I think that's actually the truth, not a lie. I think everyone's been looking for some drama here. I think the Niners want to win now. If you want to win now, you keep Jimmy Garoppolo and you develop Trey Lance for the future. So I begrudgingly will admit that the 3rd pick is going to be Trey Lance. I do not buy, however, that the Niners don't know who they're taking. Don't buy that for a second. And I think that they're just throwing smoke out there with Mac Jones. I just don't think that's going to be the pick. So I think Trey Lance goes 3rd. Okay, so if Trey Lance goes 3rd, that leaves Justin Fields on the board for picks 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do you really think Justin Fields is lasting that long? I mean, seriously. Do you think Justin Fields, who has been seen as the second best quarterback forever. I don't care what the juice is. Do you think Justin Fields is lasting all the way to pick 9 with the Broncos? No, that is not happening, okay? No way. Justin Fields is coming off the board. In fact, Justin Fields going 4, this is why I'm not going near the Kyle Pitts bets. I've seen so many people say, hammer Kyle Pitts under 5.5. No way am I doing that. There's no way I'm hammering that because I still think that Pitts is winding up with the Dolphins. I think he goes 6th, and I think he's going to go over his prop, but I'm not betting it one way or the other because the Falcons could wind up taking him. But the Falcons also can take Justin Fields, who is a hometown kid from Georgia. And you can stash him, and Matt Ryan will be mad about that, but who cares? That's your quarterback for the future because Matt Ryan's got 1-2 years maximum left. Adding another toy, which I get is an incredible toy. Pitts could be amazing in that 12 personnel. It could be amazing to watch what he can do, but you're taking a tight end with the 4th pick in the draft? Really? That seems really high. So the likelihood of the Falcons trading out of the 4 pick is really high in my mind. Broncos become the most logical, right? I mean, if you want one of those great wideouts for Alabama at 9, you're going to be able to get one of them. So if you really want to replace Julio Jones, if that's the plan, you're going to trade Julio, so you need a wide receiver, not really a tight end. Well, then you trade Julio, and then you drop down to 9, and you take a Bama wideout. So I'm not positive the Falcons are keeping the 4th pick, and that means somebody comes up to draft Justin Fields. Okay? Justin Fields, under 8.5 at minus 198. Yes. Probably my favorite bet of the entire NFL draft. It's that. I saw it here in Vegas at 7.5 at Circa, and at BetMGM at 6.5. Okay? 6.5. We've got 2 spots of value already here. Shopping around early can help. FanDuel, minus 198, half a unit. Justin Fields, under 8.5 draft position. Okay? Number 2, and these are 3 bets that I am betting a quarter unit on, and they're basically just going to be sprinkles and things to watch and have fun with. Quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks get drafted in the first round, right? We know the 5, right? Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Jones, Lance. 5. Done. 100%. Need one more. Over 5.5 is plus 460. At the end of the first round, does somebody fall in love with the Mills kid from Stanford? Does somebody fall in love with the Kyle Trask story? I think yes. I think yes. There's going to be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And the value play on plus 460 is worth it. If we get it wrong, so be it. But for a quarter unit to put a flyer down on that, it's almost a must. You almost have to do it. It's like a requirement just because it's a flyer, but it's a flyer with the number 1 position in sports with a long drop. Remember, if the first 5 picks were to go all quarterback, even in the top 10, you're talking about 22 picks without a quarterback being taken with borderline first-round talented quarterbacks sitting there on the board with teams that are quarterback starved. And by the time you get down to the 20s with the Bears or Washington or somebody like that, if they think there's no real value in grabbing an offensive lineman or a running back, but grab the quarterback for the future, you're telling me that no one's drafting a quarterback late in the first? No one's taking the extra year? No one's doing the Lamar Jackson, trading back, say, with the Bucs to go into the first round and take a quarterback at 32? No one's doing that? Whew, I don't know. It's worth the flyer. Quarter unit, over 5.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round at plus 460 at FanDuel. And then one more to get to. Number of offensive players to be drafted in the first round. The total is 18.5. Okay? FanDuel has got this now at minus 112 for over 18.5 players to be taken offensively in the first round. So we know that in the top 10, there's probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 9 players taken. There may be one defensive player. Patrick Surtain the third or junior, whatever, the Alabama quarterback. He will go in the top 10 most likely. But that's probably it. Everyone else is offense. Offense. So let's say it's 9 of the 10, right? So now we need 10 of the next 22 picks to be on offense. And the number of offensive linemen that they're projecting is pretty high. There's a lot of offensive linemen, and there's a lot of guys like Rondell Moore and Kadarius Toney, wide receivers who have first-round grades who could wind up going late in the first round. Plus, you're talking about some maybe one or two running backs, Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. I don't mind this. Quarter unit over 18.5 offensive players to be taken in the first round on Thursday. And then one bet that I got here in Vegas at Circa Sports. So this might be just a Circa prop, so I apologize if you guys can't bet this. But which quarterback will be taken first after Wilson and Lawrence? Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Trey Lance is plus 265. Okay, I just told you the whole scenario. I just kind of laid out what I think is going to happen here for the NFL draft. I told you that I do think we're going to wind up getting ourselves into a Trey Lance at number 3 to the 49ers. That bet comes down to Jones versus Trey Lance. And I just can't get my brain around it. Even though right now at, I believe it's DraftKings, Mac Jones is minus 305 to go third. Okay? I could be dead wrong about this. If it is Trey Lance, I'm wrong, and that plus 265 was out the window, and it should have been Mac Jones. I just think this is a value bet, and you could have gotten Trey Lance third at plus 400, but that's gone. So the best I could find it was plus 195 for Trey Lance to go third. That was the best odds I could find. So this is essentially the same thing, but it's plus 265. So I'm getting the same thing. It's who's going third, right? Which quarterback goes third? It's the same exact prop, except you are eliminating, I guess you are adding into the possibility that you could have a crazy, watch Kyle Pitts wind up going, watch him going third and make all of us go, excuse me, what? What are you doing? Yeah, no, right? That's not happening, but okay. So I guess there's that. But if you want to talk about value, I just think, there's Trey Lance at number 3. Now, I may come back in here with Mac Jones over 3.5 for his draft position, because if I'm going with Trey Lance to go third, that means we're seeing Mac Jones go over, and Mac Jones over 3.5 right now is plus 205. So tomorrow I may come back in here and jump on this, but just in case I'm dead wrong and the 49ers come out on Tuesday or Wednesday and they're like, hey, by the way, we're taking Mac Jones, and we're like, shoot. Then that bet for which quarterback comes off first is wrong, and that quarter unit is dead. So just so I don't get beat on 2 different bets, I'm not going to make that officially just yet, but I will be eyeballing Mac Jones over 3.5. Again, everyone's saying Mac Jones is going third. Trey Lance's spot is still 6.5. The under is juiced minus 230 right now on that, but I still think Trey Lance is going third. I can't get off of it. I get that Mac Jones would be the pick that would make everybody go, oh, so Kyle Shanahan doesn't care about anyone else's opinion. But so I just can't go there. I just can't go there yet. Maybe tomorrow on the podcast I'll add these in. But right now, those are my first 4 bets going for the NFL draft. I will have 2 player props going today. Went 0-2 yesterday on that, but I'm not going to get discouraged. Went 2-0 the day before. So it happens, right? We get burned. Kind of a bummer there, but get back to the lab, get back to the work, and hopefully get 2 better picks for us coming up today for that. So I will have a half unit going today, but that's about it. I'm going to take a mental health day, if you will, and take some time off after a really rough Monday that crushed me. So take a little bit of a break. But the 4 bets for Thursday now, okay, 4 NFL draft bets. Justin Fields, under 8.5 at FanDuel, minus 198 for a half a unit. Quarter unit, 5 over 5.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round at plus 460. Total over 18.5 total offensive players to be taken in the first round at minus 112. And which quarterback of the 3 gets drafted first? Jones, Fields, or Trey Lance? Trey Lance is plus 265 at Circa, quarter unit on that for the plays. So, again, very cool thing happening on Thursday. We will have a live Discord chat going where you can win t-shirts for making correct picks during the first round of the draft up to pick 17 or so. I'll explain a bit more of that coming up tomorrow and then on Thursday as well before we begin as to how you can win. But having some fun with that on Thursday. Mark it down to be with us for the first round of the NFL Draft in the Discord channel as we see how these bets unfold. So, 4 bets going. I'll have more than this, but those are the first 4 bets for the NFL Draft coming up on Thursday. And then we're back tomorrow morning for another edition of the Daily Juice podcast being brought to you by BetMGM right here on BettingPros.com.